National Security Report. I want to talk more about what needs to be happening during these supposedly very delicate negotiations, if there are negotiations. Joining me now is Sumi Terry, MSNBC contributor, former senior analyst on Korean issues under President Bush. She's now senior fellow and Korea chair at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Sumi, maybe that's why Donald Trump wants to have this next meeting in New York, because if nothing's going to get accomplished, there's really no point in him traveling around the world. It's a little bit puzzling, right, that he didn't make a deal, he touted it as an historic meeting, and now it seems that North Korea isn't doing anything, really.
You're absolutely right, and Ken was absolutely right. There is no deal. You saw the Singapore Declaration was an aspirational statement about North Korea working towards denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. And what does that mean? So there is no deal. Clearly, North Koreans are not willing to denuclearize the way we mean it. Complete, verifiable, irreversible dismantlement of their nuclear program. In fact, and as Ken mentioned, one of the most important pieces about this intelligence that came out is this regime, Kim Jong-un regime, continues to want to deceive the U.S. officials in this negotiation process. So I think Pompeo's visit to North Korea coming up is very, very important. We're going to confront the North Koreans about this, and it's time that the North Koreans give us something here. I think we should start with getting a complete declaration of North Korea's nuclear weapons and their facilities. Hope they give us that list, and we'll see where we go from there.
So Pompeo seems to take a more rational view of how this is going, but John Bolton took a much more aggressive position on CBS Face the Nation, saying that this denuclearization can be achieved in a year. Let's listen together.
We have developed a program. I'm sure that Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will be discussing this with the North Koreans in the near future about really how to dismantle all of their WMD and ballistic missile programs in a year. What our experts have devised is a program that, with North Korean cooperation, with full disclosure of all of their chemical and biological nuclear programs, ballistic missile sites.
That hasn't happened yet?
It has not.
A lot in that little stuff. First of all, there's been no disclosure. So we think they have 60 bombs capable of being tipped with a nuclear warhead. We don't really know, and step one would have been to know. But I look at the Iran deal, which took 2 good years, but 10 years altogether, and Iran never had a nuclear weapon. Is it possible, what Bolton is talking about, that they can figure out how to dismantle all of their weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missiles in a year?
No, absolutely unrealistic. I think he knows this. Bolton knows this. I'm not sure why he's saying 1 year. Maybe he's looking at the Libya model, and this is his wish, that we can really get this done within a year. But as you've seen, we've already had a summit with Kim Jong-un, and Kim Jong-un still has given us nothing. So I think to think that we're going to get to dismantlement within a year, I think that's very, very unrealistic.
So you and Matt wrote on June 27th, I just want to take out something from a Washington Post thing that you wrote. Donald Trump can't make a deal of a century. You said if Kim takes this historic deal, and you put that in quotes, by the way, he would not only have to give up the weapons that ensure his own survival, he would also have to give up the ideological raison d'etre for his regime, the rationale that has justified decades of suffering by the North Korean people. So what you're underscoring is that this is substantially more complicated than Donald Trump flying over, the two of them having some sort of meeting, and it resulting in the denuclearization of North Korea.
Absolutely. North Korea needs nuclear weapons for deterrence, but it's beyond deterrence. In the history of North Korea's existence, their whole being, the whole state is based on being against the United States, U.S., which is #1 hostile enemy of North Korea. That is the reason for North Korea's, reason for everything, reason for North Korean people suffering. So I think it's for North Korea to really give up nuclear weapons beyond deterrence, deterrence against the United States. I think this is a very difficult task and complex task, and to think that we can get this done within a year is highly unrealistic.
Sumi Terry, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Sumi Terry is a former director for Korea, Japan, and Oceanic Affairs at the National Security Council under Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama. Okay, up next, from pizza to quiche to ketchup to mustard.